Here at the Albany-Saratoga Speedway, 2,500 to win here tonight as this race presented by DODSON Construction, Dean's Electrical Services, and High Octane Heating and Cooling. Ladies and gentlemen, a shower of 602 power about to send a shockwave on the Albany-Saratoga Speedway. Green flag is out as Mike Ostrander going to lead the field to the green up into turn number 1 and 2 for the first time.
Ostrander going to lead the way off at turn number 2 down the back straightaway with Chris Johnson close in tow as they make their way down into turn number 3, coming around to put lap number 1 on the board. Score it for Mike Ostrander on the head of the field.
Chris Johnson sitting in the number 2 spot now, going to try to roll to the inside lane up off the corner. He'll try to close in on the 62 machine. Michael Sabia going to shake out in third. Fourth right now, the 14X is Scott Duell in a spirited battle for the number 5 spot as Hunter Bates and Rocky Warner duke it out for position as they click off lap number 2.
Down here into turn number 1 they go. We got some side-by-side racing all the way back through the field as they work their way down through the back straightaway. Races go side to side all the way back through the top 10 as your leaders now, a 2-car breakaway up on the front, Mike Ostrander and Chris Johnson.
While Ostrander and Johnson battle for the number 1 spot, we got a battle for spot number 3 right behind them as well as Sabia and Duell go at it. Now Chris Johnson takes a look at some daylight up on the top side as Ostrander continues to lead. Here's Johnson powering it up on the top, bringing it up at turn number 4. They come to the line with Ostrander as your leader.
Ostrander still leading, but Johnson stepping out of line and taking a wide line down here to turn number 1. He will use that wide line to pull to the outside again, actually nose out ahead, and as they go to turn 3, the advantage sits with the 33J, lap number 5, and you've got a new leader.
Chris Johnson with 2 feature event victories so far in the 2016 season, going to working up off of turn number 2. He'll see a 6-car length advantage over Ostrander as now Scott Duell also behind him makes his way into the number 3 spot outright. As Johnson comes by, he'll click off lap number 6.
Chris Johnson, Mike Ostrander, Scott Duell, your top 3. 4th spot. Now Michael Sabia going to feel some pressure as they work their way down the back straightaway. Sabia right now holding on to 4th, but he'll feel pressure as they go side to side off turn 4.
Sabia going to slide back up in front of the 9B of Hunter Bates, and now Jason Gray looking to make his presence known. He had a strong run earlier in the C-Main as he picked up the win in that event with the 00, working it up on the top side of the Flying Squirrel. Here as we move towards the lap 10 mark with Chris Johnson still your leader.
Johnson, your leader, and he's got a little bit of breathing room between himself and Mike Ostrander. But back through the pack, there is anything but breathing room. There are cars side by side. There are cars nose to tail, and we continue on yet to see the first 10 laps in the books. 9 on the board. Chris Johnson continues to show the way.
Side-by-side battle for the number 4 spot now as Hunter Bates continuing to work it up on the top side. He'll take that away. Michael Sabia sits bent, and now 1 spot out of a top 5 run is Jason Gray, who has cleared the 1J of Rocky Warner and is really working the top side of the speedway.
Jason Gray making moves here. He's on the outside of Warner and now has cleared Warner down here into turn number 1. Got cars side to side just ahead of him. That is the 9 of Hunter Bates and the 7 of Michael Sabia. But Gray looking for a lane as they get down here into turn number 3. Sabia and Bates continue to run side by side, which will keep Gray and Warner in double file fashion as well.
Michael Sabia in decent need of a big run out here at the Northeast Crate Nationals tonight as the last 2 series races on tour. He has had some bad luck at his home track. He currently holds a top 5 run, looking to get a big run into the point standings. But behind them, the battle really starting to get together as cars are getting close quarter.
Just like they started, door to door, side by side, wheel to wheel. They continue to run 2 wide now, a little bit more single file fashion as cars starting to pull in line. But we got them 3 wide outside right now, just back here about around the end of the top 10.
One thing you got to keep an eye on out at the front of the field, though, Dan, now is we are moving in to the point where Chris Johnson going to see some lap traffic ahead of him. That could bring the field back together, but Johnson almost with a full straightaway lead right now on the 62 of Ostrander, as Scott Duell sits third, fourth, the 7 of Michael Sabia, and Hunter Bates still holding on to the top 5 with Gray and Bleau right behind him.
Well, the margin behind him is greater than the margin in front of him, because he is going to see slower cars here in the next half lap. He is coming up on the tail end of the field. They are racing side by side at the tail end of the field. And right now, Chris Johnson setting a torrid pace on the front of this one. He is going to start to encounter lap traffic here in the next lap.
Johnson about 6 car lengths away from the back bumper of the John Miller machine as they click off lap number 16. Ostrander still holding on strong to second. Now we got a battle for the number 5 spot as Cody Bleau and the Greg Schilling and repair entry going to push to the inside lane up at turn number 2. He works his way down the backstretch, but Hunter Bates going to clear him up top. Here's the 173 looking to make something happen off the corner. They'll come off it side by side with Bates still having the advantage.
Blew off a win here last Friday night. We got cars scattering down here on the front straightaway. One car off the pace, up on the outside, and looks, oh, we got one sideways. Heavy contact here, top 5 cars involved. And now David Schilling just got a piece of the Cleveland machine. So cars scattering over off of turn number 2, and that's going to bring yellow out with 19 complete. 4 cars remaining up on the back straightaway. The 5th is already pulled back to the pit area. That's the 1-800-GOT-JUNK, number 20 of David Schilling. Connor Cleveland pulling away over here in turn number 2. Those were the 2 cars that made contact after the spin. And Andrew Buff's number 98 over in turn number 2, the 2 cars that had come to rest there.
May have a few things to factor in, but right now Cody Bleau currently sits in spot number 6, sitting pretty with a chance to pounce here tonight in the Northeast Great Nationals.
John Miller's car coming back up on the speedway over here on the backstretch now. We're going to be ready to go back to green. Chris Johnson ready to go back to work up on the front. Green is out. He and Mike Ostrander will bring the field down here into turn number 1 as we got them all bunched back together. And right now, Cody Bleau is the man on the move down the back straightaway.
Cody Bleau using the line he used just 7 days ago to get from 20 to 1st down here in Sportsman competition at Albany-Saratoga. He's going to try to clear the 14X of Scott Duell and take that position right back on the outside. He now sits himself in 4th and now going to look to go around Michael Sabia up top.
Cody Bleau on the move. He's going to take it in a little bit deeper up here into turn number 3. Taking a wide line down here off of turn number 4. Sabia on the inside. The milkman on the outside as they are wheel to wheel through turn 1 and 2.
The hot shoe Cody Bleau going to bring him up on the outside lane. He'll be your new 3rd place man as he gets a great restart, and he now looks to set his sights on Mike Ostrander. Meanwhile, Scott Duell saw something up top. He's going to try to go around Adam Pierson on the outside lane. Here as we're close close to putting lap number 30 in the books, just 3 laps away.
Scott Duell as comfortable on the outside as anybody. Right now up on the outside of Adam Pierson. Pierson on the inside, Duell on the outside. That is the race for 5th spot as they work their way down here off of turn number 4. They've got Michael Sabia right in front of them, and that's going to open up the outside groove for Scott Duell. Duell will not only clear Pierson, but he will also clear Sabia, and now Rocky Warner's in trouble.
Rocky Warner made contact with Hunter Bates down the back straightaway, and Warner losing a number of positions, but he will gather it back up, as now meanwhile Tim Hartman Jr. finding the outside lane, as the outside may be the place to go, as cars really starting to make their moves as they dance up on top of the cushion.
Well, the inside getting bottled up, a lot of room up on the outside, and momentum will get you past the race car. Tim Hartman Jr. right now proving that. He has cracked the top 5. He is got by both Pierson and Duell, and now sets his sights on Cody Bleau down here off of turn number 4. TH2 is on the roll.
Tim Hartman Jr. clears the 173 machine, now going to work on Mike Ostrander up on the top side. Ostrander going to slide up a little bit down the back straightaway. Here comes Hartman looking to make it stick. The battle for second rages on, and at the line, we're going to have a new second place man as TH2 has gone to second.
Well, we told you up on the front, Chris Johnson was setting a torrid pace, but Chris Johnson better have his helmet strapped on tight, because Tim Hartman is coming, and he's coming in a hurry. Hartman up in the fast lane on the high side, really keeping his momentum up here through the corners. He has cut the deficit between himself and Chris Johnson down to less than a half a straightaway margin.
Tim Hartman Jr. may over the last couple of years may have had the best runs in this Northeast Crate Nationals event, and he is showing why, as he's got it hooked up on the top side here as lap number 34 gets in the books. And as Dan mentioned, the deficit is cutting down more and more each time they cross the flag stand.
Here comes Johnson up on slower traffic. Right ahead of him, and plenty of room is given by John Miller. Miller gives room to your leader, but Miller up in the fast lane. That may cause part of the momentum that Hartman has built up, as Hartman has cut the gap even more, closing in on Chris Johnson here. But up in that high lane, he is going to encounter John Miller. We'll see if Hartman can make the pass down here without breaking momentum.
Inside lane starting to come back a little bit on the inside, as well as here comes the 15 of Adam Pierson, arguably the most winningest driver in the field this year with his success at Bear Ridge. He has now gotten by the 173 of Cody Bleau. He'll move into the number 4 spot and try to set his sights on Mike Ostrander for 3rd.
As they come down here off of turn number 4, that is where we find another side-by-side race. We got yellow out on the speedway. We got a car in the outside wall here on the home stretch. That is going to be the Lazaro's Auto Body, sponsored number 14 of Scott Duell. And that is going to bring yellow out with 38 complete here. Scott Duell going to nurse the 14 back behind the wall. Right rear tire is down on the 14X machine.
Mr. Crate Track USA going to have to head. Taxi, Next Generation Roofing, Speeds Garage, Stone Motorsports, A1 Installers, FICO Fabrication, Racer's Guide, Raceball Weekly, Final Reward Trophy, Dirt Track Digest, Midnight Music Machine, DJ Service, and Mayhem Motorsports. Green flag back out onto the speedway here as lap 41 goes into the books. Chris Johnson on the inside, going to see Tim Hartman Jr. power up top as the battle for the lead is on.
Got trouble down in turn 1. Cars are scattering, but everybody gonna make it away okay. But we got a side-by-side battle working down here on the front straightaway. Chris Johnson and Tim Hartman Jr. Johnson hugging the inside. Hartman dancing off the high side midway down the back straightaway, and Hartman has gone to the front.
TH2 going to bring him up at turn number 3 and 4 this time. He will clear the 33J and be your new race leader here with 57 laps to go. Hartman going to work his way up off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway as he sits in the number 1 spot. Johnson still up to second. Now Adam Pierson has made his way up into spot number 3.
Jason Gray on the move as well, up on the outside with the 00 car. He works up on the outside of Mike Ostrander. Gray in the top 5 and looking to better that position as he works off of turn number 2. Gray will work his way around Ostrander as they battle back there for position number 4.
Tim Hartman Jr. leads as Chris Johnson sits second, but a couple of Bear Ridge regulars starting to bear down on him on the outside lane. Adam Pierson has been victorious in competition here at the Speedway, and he continues to ride in that number 3 spot, but now he's got fellow competitor Jason Gray starting to close in as he dances even higher off the cushion.
They work their way down here off of turn number 4, just outside the top 5. Cody Bleau sits back there in position number 6 with the 173. Derrick McGrew in position number 7. Then it is car number 7, Michael Sabia, riding in 8th spot. The other number 7, that is Dave Constantino, rides in 9th. And rounding out your top 10 is the champion in the Sportsman division here. That is the 27 of Jeremy Pitts, as Yellow will come out here on lap 47. 47 complete, and Yellow is out for Hunter Bates aboard the 9B.
So Hunter Bates going to bring the caution out onto the Speedway here with 48 laps in the books. We are 2 laps away from the halfway point of this 100-lap feature event. Going to take a look at the King of Dirt point standings heading into tonight. 4 races complete on the series so far. It's 3rd, Cody Hunt 4th, and Scott Duell 5th. So right now, the only one without a little bit of bad luck tonight, as Cody Hunt had some trouble in his qualifying heat race runs, has been the 173 of Cody Bleau. So this could change some things a little bit, but with that drop factored in, that could move some things as well.
Well, under caution, we are going to see the halfway sign displayed as they make their right now. He is halfway home, putting his name on the big check here for the Northeast Crate Nationals. Hartman and Chris Johnson will now restart side by side. Just the opposite of the last restart. Hartman has been dancing on the high side. We'll see what he can do down low. As the green comes out, Hartman goes directly back to the top here in turn 1.
Hartman goes up top, but we got cars together as Mike Ostrander goes around. Number of cars scatter behind him as that brings Yellow out on the Speedway, and that started all the way back in turn number 4 as Mike Ostrander made contact with the implement tire coming to the green flag.
For the receiver system, the one-way radio that goes to the driver's cockpit from here in the control tower. We're going to be ready to go back to green. Tim Hartman Jr. sees the green first and brings them down here into turn number 1. Right back to the top side goes TH2, and we are back underway.
Hartman wasting no time going up to the top. Jason Gray maybe gets a little bit too much to the top side as they're beating and banging right behind him. Jeremy Pitts and Dave Constantino come together. Now Gray to get some momentum he needs. He'll slide back in the number 4 spot. Behind him, they almost come down 4 wide.
Some great side-by-side action back there through the pack as they work their way down the back straightaway. That is from spots 5 on back. The racing is hot and heavy as they continue to run side-by-side. Sabia hanging on, and we got Yellow out for a car on the back straightaway. Yellow is out for Allison Ricci aboard the 55 machine, the Helmar International sponsored car of Allison Ricci, the 3rd generation driver from New Paltz, New York. Great racing going on there. That most recent run from 5th on back. Keep an eye on Derrick McGrew, a champion from a year ago. The Perillo Services 27. We got a Perillo Services car on the point right now. Another one right there outside the top 5 by 1. The Perillo teammates right now running real strong in this one as we've got 60 on the board. 61 when we go back to green.
Up into turn number 1 and 2, Tim Hartman Jr. going to take control of the race lead once again off the corner. Here's the 33J of Chris Johnson holding on to second. Top 4 go out single file. Here's Gray going to step out of line, looking to get around the 15 of Adam Pierson off at turn number 4, and they'll come almost dead even as they hit the flag stand.
Jason Gray using the outside lane, much like Tim Hartman Jr. did, and he is going to make a run down the back straightaway around the 15 of Adam Pierson, and now will apply pressure on Chris Johnson for the runner-up position.
Both Jason Gray and Adam Pierson now going to work up on the top side. Gray all the way up top, Pierson a lane lower. Pierson's going to say, how you doing, as he works his way to the inside looking for the number 3 spot.
John Miller going back behind the wall down here in turn 1. A crossover move by Pierson. Thwarted the progress from Jason Gray as they work down here into turn number 1. The two Bear Ridge regulars going at it just like they're on the bull ring as they race back their 3rd and 4th spot. Right now, Tim Hartman trying to check out up on the front of this one with 65 on the board.
35 laps remaining here in the Northeast Crate Nationals as Tim Hartman Jr. in the Perillo Services car number 22 out to a half a straightaway advantage. Chris Johnson still holding on to the number 2 spot. Adam Pierson working really hard in spot number 3. Now the 27's going at it on the back half of the top 5 as here comes the 27 of McGrew and Pitts as they continue to fight for position.
Both champions here in this class. Jeremy Pitts, the champion 3 times over. Our 2016 title holder, now passing the 2015 title holder. Pitts will take over 5th position. 6th spot goes to McGrew. Spot number 7 to car number 7. That's Michael Sabia. Rocky Warner rides in 8th with a 1. Adam McAuliffe back there in 9th spot. And rounding out your top 10 is the 20 of David Schilling.
The 12 of John Miller running right in the middle of the racetrack, throwing a wrench into what may be the fast line right now. Adam Pierson going to have to take evasive action and go to the low sign down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, a car starting to really crank it up on the inside. The Brennan Project Services 27 of Jeremy Pitts as he goes underneath Jason Gray for position.
Never count out Jeremy Pitts. Pitts right now methodically making his way around. We'll see how much he's saving of that 27 machine, the Brennan Project Services machine, as once again Tim Hartman Jr. checking out on the front of this one. We are now 30 from checkers. He is down into turn number 1 with almost a full straightaway and length advantage over the 33 of Chris Johnson.
But as we say that, Dan, the 22 machine going to see heavy lap traffic in his future as they're battling 3 wide for position towards the back of the field. And something's got to give with Hartman as he continues to work his way towards him here down the back straightaway.
Well, heavy would be an understatement. As you said, they're 3 wide at times, and Hartman's got to pick a lane while keeping momentum up. He's got him racing side by side. He's going to come up on Justin Smith. Smith giving plenty of room to your leader, sticking it down to the inside as they work their way down off turn 2. Hartman now in traffic here as we bear down on the 3/4 mark.
Hartman going to clear up on the outside, the spin machine. Meanwhile, Jeremy Pitts working on the inside lane, really starting to track down Adam Pierson to put himself on the podium as he comes down the front stretch. Pierson on the top side. Here's Pitts down low, finding his momentum as they come off the corner. Pierson going to hold on, but he's got Pitts chasing him down heavily into the north side.
2 of the best going to battle back there for position number 3. Jeremy Pitts right down on the inside. Adam Pierson up on the outside. Pierson, not a stranger to this racetrack. He has raced here on Friday nights. He has won here in the Eastside PMA Midgets. He comes down into turn number 3 with the 2016 champion, and they continue to race tooth and nail back there forward at position number 3.
Meanwhile, at the front, Tim Hartman Jr. doing a really great job of maneuvering through traffic as he continues to have this full straightaway advantage on the 33J of Chris Johnson. He's going to put the 28, almost put the 28 of Hunt a lap down, as that time they almost got together coming down the front stretch.
Well, Cody Hunt trying to stay on the lead lap. He's up on the outside of the racetrack, and you know that's where Tim Hartman would like to be. Hartman fastest on the top. Now he'll clear Hunt, and he'll take that outside lane. Now the next 2 cars that he will encounter are racing down on the bottom, so that should play into Hartman's favor as now Chris Johnson is mired back here in traffic.
Johnson has gotten by the 83 of Chris Stevens, still holding on to that number 2 spot, but the problem he may see here, Justin Smith dead ahead of him, running the inside lane. That's going to allow Pitts and Pierson to possibly catch up. And now, as we say that, a driver moving into the top 5 as Rocky Warner now makes his way up into 5th.
Tim Hartman Jr. in heavy traffic now. Down here off off of turn number 4. He has got to start parting cars. He is literally pushing the 173 of Cody Bleau down the front straightaway. Hartman going to use some daylight between Scott Duell and Cody Bleau now down the back straightaway. He will clear Bleau. He'll clear Duell up on the outside, and Hartman doing a masterful job through slower traffic.
Tim Hartman Jr. with a couple of moves you wouldn't see too often out here on the Albany-Saratoga Speedway as he keeps that full straightaway advantage. Meanwhile, as Chris Johnson sits in lap traffic ahead of him, here comes Jeremy Pitts looking for the number 2 spot as he'll rock up on the top side.
Chris Johnson, he's trying for that low line. The only problem there is he's got cars single file racing on that inside lane. That's going to allow Jeremy Pitts. He can see where Chris is and what is available, therefore a racing line as they work down here off the corner. They come down into turn number 1, and now Pitts is right to the back bumper of Chris Johnson. This is going to be the race for second place as they get to turn 3. It'll be Pitts up on the outside and Johnson on the inside off of turn number 4.
At the line, Johnson going to hold on, but the momentum right now in favor of the Grennan Project Services, car number 27 of Jeremy Pitts. Now here comes Adam Pierson sticking his nose in there as well, as what a battle for the number 2 spot as this time Tim Hartman Jr. puts lap number 84 on the board, but the battle is for second as Johnson has to move to the outside. He'll keep control of the spot.
Hartman's gone. He's checked out. The race is back here, second through 4th spot. As they work their way down off of turn number 2 again, traffic knows the tail ahead of Chris Johnson. Now Jeremy Pitts slides up. Here comes the Pierson machine down low, and with momentum up high, Rocky Warner is now letting his presence known.
The Flying Squirrel may not be out of this one just yet, even though time's running out. He'll dive underneath the 15 of Adam Pierson, moving up into the number 4 spot and rapidly closing in on the 27 of Jeremy Pitts.
Oh boy, off of turn number 4 now. It's Pitts working up, and now right in front of Pitts, Johnson trying to cut down low on Cody Hunt. Hunt gonna try a 3-wide maneuver down the back straightaway. As they work down the back straightaway, it's Johnson splitting. Allison, Ricci, and Cody Hunt contact off turn 4. Your third, second, and third place cars caught up, make that 3rd and 4th, and yellow is out on the speedway.
What a battle up at the front for the number 2 spot. Adam Pierson got together through the field. Allison, Ricci involved, Justin Smith, and Derrick McGrew as well. And oh boy, is that going to set up a shootout here in this one, because as good as Tim Hartman Jr. has been, Dan, and there's no question he's been the class of the field through these first 87 laps, he not only has to deal with Chris Johnson now, but the 2 cars restarting behind them. The champion here at Albany-Saratoga this season
as far, but he has got a couple of champions lined up right there behind him. The 2 Bear Ridge regulars will restart from back in row 3. And we're going to be ready to go back to green. 87 on the board, just 13 remain. And Tim Hartman Jr. now going to come back to green and come back to life here on the front straightaway. Green is back out with 13 to go.
Hartman wasting no time getting to the top side. Rocky Warner trying to clear Jeremy Pitts down the back straightaway for that number 3 spot as the Flying Squirrel has been on a charge here through the closing laps of this one. He's got 12 to go, but he's on the move trying to go back-to-back here in Northeast Crate National Competition.
Down to turn number 1 they go. Hartman by about 5 car lengths, call it 6, maybe down the back straightaway over Chris Johnson. Johnson going right back down to the bottom here in turn number 3. He'll use that inside line down here off of turn number 4, while Rocky Warner doing the opposite. Warner can see how Tim Hartman Jr. is making his way through the corners. He knows there's a fast lane up there, and right now he's just trying to find the sweet spot for that number 1 car as he races for the runner-up position here off turn 4.
This time by 10 laps remaining here in this Northeast Crate Nationals event as Tim Hartman Jr. continues to ride through the corner. That time Rocky Warner trying to move through the middle, but Johnson may have seen the nose as he pulled up to the inside of him as he works his way off. Now a battle for the number 5 spot is making his way in. Here comes Mr. Outside, Adam McAuliffe, working his way up on the outside of Adam Pierson.
Adam McAuliffe with a power move around Adam Pierson. McAuliffe will try and make his way into the top 5 for the first time tonight with 91 on the board, less than 10 to go, and Adam McAuliffe now is coming into his own. He'll scrub off some speed off of turn number 4, but back underway down here. McAuliffe one spot out of a top 5 run with the 2:34.
Tim Hartman this time by, continuing to bring him up on the outside lane as that battle for second heats up. The 33 Jay bobbles a little bit off of turn number 3. That's going to allow Rocky Warner to close in and put his best run forward to him on the outside. We'll see if he can clear him off of turn number 2. New driver in a runner-up position if he can make it stick, but they're still side by side heading into 3.
Down into turn number 3 they go. All eyes are on the second place race now as Rocky Warner has cleared the 33 of Chris Johnson. Now Warner knows he's running out of time. When he hits the stripe this time by, Ricci Pierson gonna wave at him and he'll know he's only got 5 to go. Tim Hartman Jr. first to see the 5 to go sign. Rocky Warner has seen the 5 to go sign now, and Warner now has got to turn the wick up as he's running out of time.
Rocky Warner's got to put the 1J in light speed before this one's all said and done, as they'll bring him up at turn number 3 and 4. Hartman now with just 4 laps remaining in this one. He's got this one clear, but here comes the 1J really starting to pedal harder and cutting down the deficit.
Warner has gone to the whip with 4 to go. He is trying to run down your leader. Hartman, however, has got to deal with traffic. He comes up on John Miller. He's forced to the low line down here to turn 1. When he goes to the bottom side, that'll play into the favor of Rocky Warner. Warner now less than a half a straightaway behind your leader, but time is running out and running out in a hurry as it'll be 2 to go at the line for TH2.
Hartman now at the 2 to go sign, going to bring him back down. He'll bring him up into turn number 1 and 2 and continue to clear a couple cars. Rocky Warner having to move to the inside just like Hartman did to take the spot past John Miller as they look to close this one. Hartman 1 to go this time up at turn number 4.
White flag will be displayed this time by for Tim Hartman Jr. Rocky Warner riding in second. Third spot, Chris Johnson. Fourth spot, Jeremy Pitts and Adam McAuliffe rounding out your top 5 on the final go-round here in this event.
Final time up at turn number 4. Checkered flag is out. The winner of the 2016 Northeast Crate Nationals, Tim Hartman Jr. Second will be Rocky Warner. Third, Chris Johnson. Fourth, Jeremy Pitts. And Adam Pierson will round out the top 5. And what a drive by the 22 of Tim Hartman Jr. as TH2 gets it done here in the Northeast Crate Nationals.
So Tim Hartman Jr. with the Perillo Services number 22 picking up the victory here tonight. 21st starting position, a dominant performance by the 3rd generation driver. So he'll make his way back down behind the grandstand area, celebrating victory lane. Tim Hartman Jr. picking up the victory here in the 100-lap event. Mike Warren's going to make his way down here in front for our Drivers Point Fund 50-50 raffle drawing. We'll be going through that.